Hello and welcome to the second episode of Lorekeepers. I am Darth Sibius, and as ever I am with my dear pal Bradlowski. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good today.
Awesome scenes. And I'm also joined by Seanography for the first time joining us for the magicalness. How you doing, buddy?
Tired, but I'll make it through.
Awesome scenes. Yes, we are working on some interesting international time zones at the moment, as ever with Dice Troop. So yeah, we're going to kind of give a bit of an overview of Magic and the lore and the colours and the Planeswalkers and the planes. We've got quite a lot to cover today. There is a good chance we may have to kind of pause and pick this up, but we shall see how we do with time and things. So without further ado, let's get cracking, shall we? So I'm just showing up the standard Magic back there and the colour wheel showing the plains, island, forest, swamp and mountains there. So Magic. In the game of Magic, you play the role of a Planeswalker, a powerful wizard who fights other Planeswalkers for glory, knowledge and conquest. Your deck of cards represents all the weapons in your arsenal. It contains the spells you know and creatures you can summon to fight for you. So basically, yeah, it is jewels of crazy, powerful wizards, essentially. Is there anything you like? Kind of what kind of intrigued you about it, or what kind of the dynamic for you, Sean?
What caught me first was probably the lore. My cousin had been playing the game, and he's got cardboard boxes just full of cards. Excuse me. And he lent me the original books, and I started reading them, and I was really interested, really invested in the universe.
Awesome scenes. Well, yeah, it is an epic universe. Cause like I've been playing for a little while, but we're kind of just starting to scratch the surface of the lore and stuff, and there is so much, and it's crazy. Like it's just as crazy as the 40k lore or any other kind of crazy epic lore that there exists, all through times and zones and people and things. So yeah, so without further ado, we'll talk a bit about the colours. So mana and colours are a very big important thing in Warhammer. There are the 5 colours of mana, each come in the form of different types of land. So we can see the symbols there in the colour wheel again. So I will just bring up, so here we have a plains and island. So we'll start off with white, the colour of justice. White spellcasters use superior tactics, efficient creatures, and the power of righteousness against their foes. White mana comes from sprawling mountains, sunlit savannas, windswept meadows. In Magic, white is the colour of law and order and structure. White heals and protects, and often is a force of justice and honour. When a white mage fights, legions of troops thunder across the battlefield with their banners held high. Enemy hordes are routed against the gates of a castle. When white unleashes its wrath, the battlefield is cleansed of all life. Order, protection, light and law. These are the white magic's values. White mages achieve balance through strategy and organisation. For white mages, society is no more important than the individual. They build strong defences, rally the troops, protect the allies. White magic heals injured soldiers so they can answer the call of battle again and again. White mages amass enormous armies, but sometimes a single awesome champion is necessary to deal with enemy lesson. At their best, white mages are self-sacrificing and moral. At their worst, they are uncreative and even authoritarian. And white spells include cleansing and healing magic, blinding light, and devastating waves of purifying energy. White aligned creatures are orderly, defensive, and cooperative. They gather fast and strike first. White mages summon majestic angels to devastate the unworthy. Legions of soldiers and knights form the effective armies under the white mage's command. The soldiers might be small individually, but together they are overwhelming. And the allied colours are green and blue, which they share. So white shares with green the values of holism, order, and community, and white and blue mana share the values of thoughtfulness, structure, and progress. But white does oppose red mana through the conflicts of order versus chaos, defense versus offense, strategy versus spontaneity, and white mana opposes black mana through the conflicts of light versus darkness, purity versus corruption, and the needs of the many versus the needs of the individual. So that's kind of an intro to white and all things white. Anything you kind of want to come in or add there, Sean?
Just something that you said at the moment, that source of white mana is sprawling mountains. I don't think anything much bigger than a molehill could be considered for white mana. Mountains is a very red idea.
Sprawling Plains. Sorry, I meant to say, if I said Sprawling Mountains, I definitely meant Sprawling Plains. With an I.
Okay.
Not to be confused with planes with others.
Just checking.
Yeah, no, we will get to mountains in a minute. But yeah, so kind of, but from experience, from my experience, like, you often, loads of white soldier tokens and little things that build up, and suddenly there's, oh my god, an entire army of 1/1 white knights coming to destroy you. Are you a fan of white?
White has its place. Not in my deck, but white has its place.
Okay, no, you're not. Yeah, so I've kind of got my all white. I've got my angels. I do quite like a bit of white from time to time. But no, okay, no. I see you're a darker man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When we get further on into the other colours, I'll give my opinion on them.
Okay. So the other card we have up here, the blue one, is the island. It's a full, beautiful, full art card there. So blue is the colour of wisdom. Blue mages focus on using superior knowledge to gain control of battle and slowly gain the upper hand. Islands provide blue mana. That is islands, not mountains. Just in case I said that again. The magic of the deep sea and endless sky. Magic is about deceit, logic and illusion. To be a blue mage, information and knowledge are paramount. Blue mages want to know everything, and they'll go to any length to do so. When a blue mage fights, tidal waves crash against rocky cliffs, the wind whips out stormy skies, and the enemy's spells fail as their creatures vanish into thin air. Knowledge, manipulation, wind and wave, these are the blue mage's tools. Blue magic is reactive, calculated and methodical. Its strength lies in patience and intelligence. Blue mages work behind the scenes, scheming and stealing secrets. They control their environments completely before making a move. Blue spells and abilities focus on prediction and illusion. Blue is the colour of technology and artifice. At their best, blue mages are inventive and progressive. At their worst, they're manipulative and treacherous. Blue spells include crashing waves, whirlpools of ether, and even manipulations of time itself. Blue aligned creatures try to deceive their opponents or trick them into using magic in a way that they didn't intend. Blue aligned creatures often confuse, disguising themselves or stealing things from their enemies. Blue mages call wizards and weird beasts of air and ocean to serve them. They summon crafty sphinxes, ferocious drakes and elusive sprites. Titanic leviathans surface from the depths of the ocean to do their bidding. So yeah, blue is allied with white and black. Blue and white share the values of thoughtfulness, structure and progress. Blue and black share the values of secrecy, manipulation and desire for omniscience. Megalomaniacs, the blues. Blue mana oppose red mana through the conflicts of water versus fire, logic versus emotion, and thought versus action. Blue mana opposes green mana through conflicts of artificial versus natural, illusion versus reality, and this is such a beautiful word. This word has made my day. Stultification versus growth. So yeah,
okay,
there's a new word for you, everybody. Stultification. It was a new one for me. So is blue tingling your fancy a little bit more? Are you a knowledge seeker?
First deck I ever played was a blue-black mill disgusting zombie doesn't ever work deck. But that's what, 2 years ago now. I've since improved it.
Okay.
But yes, blue has a special place in my heart because it's the first deck I played.
Awesome scenes. Awesome scenes. So yeah, like blue, because with the technology and stuff. There's the guy for the new Ravnica that everyone seems to be in love with. He's a blue chap, isn't he? I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now.
Ralzarek?
Yeah. Is that the guy?
He's blue-red. He's in Isaac.
Okay, well, there's a bit of blue to him. He's a technological chap. But yeah, and I like to equate everything to everything, and just to bring Brad a little bit. So knowledge is power. So yeah, almost the Blood Ravens. Everything's Blood Ravens.
Unfortunately, yes, everything is Blood Ravens.
Yeah, everything is Blood Ravens. Conspiracies abound. Right, so I shall move us on to black. Like the wasteland. which is swamps. So black is the colour of ambition. Black sorcerers are willing to do whatever it takes to win a battle, even if it means sacrificing everything to do so. Black mana comes from the dank swamps where things fester and rot, shadowy wastelands, haunted catacombs, and fetid bogs, all prime sources for black mana. Black is the colour of death, fear, and amorality. These are the twisted values of the darkness. Black magic is powerful and easy to wield, but it comes at a high price. Black mages are self-centered and self-serving. They will do anything to get power, no matter what the cost. Death, ambition, and darkness are the stock trade of black mages. Black mana offers a host of gruesome spells. Black magic can unearth the dead from their graves and make them walk again. Lots of zombies. They love the zombies. It can spread pestilence across the landscape and drain the life from all that live there. Black spells can curse victims in horrible, enduring ways. They can warp the mind, poison the land, kill creatures instantly, but the price is high and risks are many. At their best, black mages are ambitious and unashamed. At their worst, they are enslaving and devouring. Black spells have things like Tendrils of Corrupting Shadow, Command over the Undead, and projection of crippling nightmares into the minds of enemies. Undead skeletons, ghouls, unspeakable horrors, diabolical demons, and are native to the places of black mana. They are self-serving and treacherous as the mages who control them. Black magic isn't limited to these abominations, though. Death cultists and secret societies of assassins carry the black mages' nefarious plans under the cover of darkness. Black mages control the most horrifying creatures, but always at a price. So black is allied with red and blue. Black and blue share values of secrecy, manipulation, and desire for omniscience. And black and red share the individualism, instant gratification, and self-interest. And black is opposed, as you can imagine, by white, darkness versus light, corruption versus purity, and the needs of the individual versus the needs of the many. Black mana also opposes green through the conflict of death versus life, decay versus growth, and greed versus abundance. So, are we, any of us, feeling the darker side of things?
Yes, the current deck that I'm using has a lot of black removal in it. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. It's got one black creature in a 60-card deck.
Okay.
I think like 7 swamps. And a couple of Rakdos Guild gates just to be safe. But it's black removal in the sense that it's a disgusting card that if you don't want a 6/6 fly swing in that gets more powerful every turn, you have to sacrifice your creatures. So it is almost guaranteed removal.
Awesome scenes. I guess I've currently got black and red, my Fangry Dead vampires, kind of mostly in Innistrad and Dark Ascension, so going to be needing to make a bit of a tweak to that as the months go on. So
just to comment about opposing colours, that's a very old order way of thinking.
Okay.
Since I've been playing, at least, they've been changing up, and the old ideas of black opposing white, black opposing green are changing up, and they're getting a lot more synergy.
Okay.
So black can be played with any color now, instead of black and blue or black and red deck being a good idea.
Well, it's like with all the guilds, and I'm sure like by the time we get to Revenant and get into the guilds, this will become much more kind of illuminated for everyone. But like, I think it's just the concepts, isn't it? Really, that are opposing each other. Like, because you can use any kind of combination of colours. Like, I've even had the doorway to nothingness opened on me by the completely Captain Planet multicoloured deck. So that was just horrific. So yeah, all the colours can work together. It's just constructing your own theme and being advised by the kind of the way they balance.
Yeah.
So awesome scene. So on to red, the colour of chaos. So red is mountains. That is, I did mean to say mountains that time. So yeah, the colour of chaos. I said chaos, Brett. This is going to excite you. Red conjures. Maybe, yeah. We're trying to get Brett into Magic. We're slowly getting there. Maybe. Red conjurers try to win as quickly and dramatically as possible, smashing and burning their way to a quick victory. Red mana flows from rugged mountain ranges, rocky crags, and the fiery hearts of volcanoes. Red magic is about fury and passion. With red mage fights, lightning arcs cross the blood-red sky. Lava erupts from the earth, and fire flashes to consume the land. Red mages can channel their wild emotions to raise a city or to harness flames into deadly weapons. Freedom, fire, and impulse, the lifeblood of every red mage. Red mages have no patience for talk or subtlety. They act quickly and recklessly. With red mana, a mage controls the power of fire and earth. Red mages scorch the enemies with fireballs or call down electricity from the sky. They can rattle the foundations of civilization and destroy the land itself. At their best, red mages are dynamic and passionate and unbound. At their worst, they are short-sighted, temperamental and destructive. Examples of red spells include rains of meteors, searing bolts of lightning, and huge gouts of flame, because everyone likes a good huge gout of flame to time and time. Red-line creatures are warlike, frenzied, and dangerous. Red mages summon mighty dragons to dominate the skies. They send hordes of bloodthirsty barbarians on rampaging goblins to lay waste to their enemies. They channel mystical energy and summon the elements of merciless power and destruction. Red creatures rage across the landscape, cutting down anything that stands in their way. Each of the 5 colours of... so yeah, again, this is the older concept, but I'm still going to kind of go with it. Red is allied with black and green. Red and black share the idea of individual instant gratification and self-interest, and red and green share the values of action, base urges, and connection to the earth. Red kind of opposes, but kind of doesn't oppose. Where are we? Red opposes white in the idea of chaos versus order, offense versus defense, and opportunity versus strategy. And red mana kind of opposes blue mana through the conflicts versus fire versus water, emotion versus logic, and action versus thought. So I'm sure you're being a blue and red man.
Yeah, well, if anything, red does have the more stronger. This is a Stonewall. They work well together, yes, but a mono red deck against a mono white deck, they're gonna butt heads.
Yeah.
Same with red versus blue.
Well, so red. I think red and white would be an interesting one, because if the red kind of went well, you just decimate the white to pieces. But then if the white gets to control the red to pieces, they don't really have much to rebuttal.
No, they don't.
No. So yeah, and anything else before I move on to green?
Red is also plays a big part in the deck that I'm currently using for Friday Night Magics.
Oh, very
That's
nice.
where all my removal is,
Okay.
and all my haste and disgusting stuff.
It's all about the disgusting decks.
It's all about the disgusting stuff.
Awesome. So what kind of creatures are you what red things are you rocking at the moment?
I'm running a couple of Searing Spears. So 2 mana cost, 3 damage. It's actually really good value. And then a bunch of Blood Rush stuff, which is Gruul, Return to Replica.
Nice, because
mechanic.
Because red has that. It's either kind of cheap to do it, or it's just really expensive and huge.
Yes.
Like there's some crazy board sweeping stuff with I've seen in red in my time. So, but yeah, we're at 17 minutes. We've barely got past colours, so I should probably get to green and try and speed myself up a bit. So green forest. Oh, it's the last colour. We're gonna be fine. Green, the colour of nature and beautiful forest and things. Green shamans win duels through brute force of Mother Nature, summoning giant creatures to squash their enemies. The teeming forest overflow with green mana, the pulse of nature. Green mana is about growth, life, and brutal force. When a green mage fights, massive creatures crash through the undergrowth, and animals enlarge to gargantuan sizes, and wounds close before blood spills to the ground. Strength, ferocity, and life, these are the values of the green mage. Green mages understand the world obeys the laws of the jungle. Everything is a jungle. Everything is either predator. Catachans could be in that jungle. Get excited. Everything is either predators or prey. Green mages do what they can to accelerate the protect nature. Jungles expand, artifacts crumble, creatures regenerate themselves. For green mages, even the plants become lethal weapons. At their very best, green mages are instinctual and adaptive. At their worst, they are savage, unthinking, and predatory. Green spells include lush growth, sudden predatory hunger, and the might of an entire stampede. Green mages summon a huge variety of creatures, from forest-dwelling animals to territorial elves and awe-inspiring behemoths. Some green creatures are living wellsprings of mana themselves. Others overrun the foes in a mighty rush of ferocious power. From towering nature elementals to carnivorous worms, with a U, that is, green creatures are the biggest and mightiest around. Each of the 5 colours, have their allies and things. Green is allied with white and red. Green and white share holism, order and community. Green and red mana share action, base urges, and connection to the earth. Green opposes blue, with natural versus artificial, reality versus illusion, growth versus stultification. Remember that. I want everyone writing that down. Stunification. And green also opposes black mana through conflict versus life, versus death, growth versus decay, and greed versus abundance. So yes, they are the colours. So yeah.
If you want an easy deck to play, play a mono green deck.
Yeah.
Just ramp until you've got 1,000,000 mana. Drop 4 huge bombs, swing to win. It's also the core of the current deck that I'm using. I'm using green, red with a tiny bit of black.
Awesome. I've just noticed. You just looked over at chat and seen Fox is keeping up to quality standards. Green has the biggest dicks.
Yes, green does have the biggest dicks. It's true. Green has the single largest creature in the game.
Which presumably, like the whale, has the largest. Yeah. Johnson.
Yeah. Well. Yep.
One would assume, unless this behemoth is overcompensating. But
I think it's a worm.
Oh.
So,
okay.
yeah, take that how you will.
Well, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm confused now. It's got 2 heads. Alright, moving on. My favourite, my favourite deck that I'm moving at the moment is a mulchi. It's a green blue, and I just love just like get things out to fight, but then also just get something out to die, because build up that graveyard and things are getting scary, like Splinter Frights and Boneyard Worms. They know what they're doing, and they just gnaw the bone, like, and that having oh Jesus, I've forgotten the word. What's the for began to cast from the graveyard?
Flashback.
Flashback, that's it, yeah. Like, you just 2 life for everything in your graveyard, and then flashing it back. Like, 4 life for everything in your graveyard in one go if you want. Have some fun.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that is colours. We've done colours. So, Planeswalkers. We'll talk about them a little bit more. So, yeah. Planeswalkers are among the most powerful beings in the multiverse. They're very thematic. Identity of the players in the game. Planeswalkers can be born in random in any sentient race, with no outward signs of their latent power. However, there is incredible remote chance that any given sentient natural being within any born within the Planeswalker spark, when that being is put through a period of extreme stress, in many cases death, the spark can trigger, causing the individual to ascend to become a Planeswalker. Within the game, each player is supposed to be a Planeswalker, so these are kind of rare. The spark is supposed to be like 1 in a million, but yeah, $9.99 local hobby store, you can be a Planeswalker.
Yep.
See, does that not tempt you, Brett? Are you not tempted? You could be a Planeswalker, Brett. 1 in a million, just
You
not
could
on this plane.
Control the amazing amount of power that $7 gets you out of a booster pack.
Exactly. $7, man. Australia is a crazy place.
$7 is that expensive, is it?
£3.50 is probably quite a bit
that's about
cheaper.
the same.
Is it? Oh, okay. Alright, that's fine. So yes, without further ado, we shall talk about some of the big old school Planeswalkers before we get to the kind of funky cool crew that we all know and love so well. So here we have this beautiful looking man with a shifty eye and lovely taste for red clothing, is Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth, also known as the Ineffable to his servants, and referred to as the Lord of the Waste through the Dominarian mythology. He was a medical genius of the Thread Empire, who was banished for his highly controversial solutions to medical ailments. Upon the discovery of the artificial plane of Phyrexia, Yawgmoth felt an extreme desire to utilise this mechanical plane to his own ends, as one obviously does. I mean, there's a mechanical place, I'm going to use it. He became the god of that plane and used his true dreams to return home to Dominaria and turn its inhabitants into, inverted commas, perfect beings. Under his rule, the main antagonist throughout the multiple MTG sagas, he is arguably the most well-known and powerful villain of the Magic multiverse. He's kind of like the Abaddon in some kind of ways, as we'll see as we come on, because he kind of comes back and goes forth and he's kind of living in hell, sort of. So yeah, he was exiled for being a eugenist, and exiled. And while he was in exile, he's a man who liked to keep himself busy. Let's put it that way. He set the Black Cough among the dwarfs of the Oran Deeps, inciting a workers' rebellion that nearly killed the Dwarven king and ended 1,000 years of Dwarven rule. He turned the creeping mould of Yawgmoth into a virulent plague that ate away the elves there. He also kidnapped their priest, Elisandro Ladamrith. I'm not an elf, I can't pronounce that. And healers, ordering the elves to pay ransom for their leader and their cure. When the elves paid, he delivered them only sweetened water and 12 dead healers. But sweetened water, like Lucasade, helps you perform 30% better, so they were kind of up something there.
Yes.
He set the White Death upon the Minotaurs of Talroom just to study its effects, because we all need to know what the White Death does to Minotaurs. He gave the leaders...
Well, it does the opposite of the Black Death.
What's the opposite of the Black Death? It brings people to life.
I'm going to visit the Minotaurs of Talroom, and I'll get back to you.
Okie dokie. Studying the effects. He gave the leaders of the cat people nation rabies, which is just hilarious. He gave the leaders of the cat nation rabies, after which they tore each other to pieces. Poor chaps. He also poisoned the human tribes of the Galata Mesha, and he also pithed and vivisected Bay of the Veshino of Shiv. But after 5 years, he was brought back to be Thran's, to help out Glacian, the Thran's chief artificer, who is suffering from Power Stone sickness. Do we have any idea about these Minotaurs and their crazy things before I hand you over to Sean to take on Yawgmoth?
Was that to Brett or...
Oh, sorry, sorry, I realised, third personed you almost. I used you every participle. Yeah, Sean, sorry, did you come across that White Plague, or we can just carry on with Yawgmoth if you want?
Yeah, we just go, this is basically what's mentioned in the book.
Okay.
It's not gone into any detail about what he actually does.
Fair enough. So after he was brought back to the Thran, can you take us forward from there?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. So when Glacian is working in the Power Stone generator, I think they use energy and stuff and make Power Stones, and that's how everything works in Halikan, the capital of the Thran Empire. And he's stabbed by one of the workers by an imperfect crystal, and that gives him Power Stone sickness. And all the workers there all suffered from Power Stone sickness, and he'd been turning a blind eye to it. So they've tried everything. They've tried all these different cures that they know that they thought would work. They're basically highly advanced holistic practitioners, because the way Yawgmoth saw the body was that it's a bunch of different things working together to make the entire being work, which is how we understand medicine now. When he was brought back, he basically fell in love with Glacian's wife, and he kept on making Glacian more sick to basically bump him off so he can move into the power. And because he's healing Glacian, he gains a lot of power within the Thran Empire and exiles people that were opposed to him being back from exile.
You see, was he sort of he's like pretending that people he doesn't like are sick, and those that are sick he actually wants to come back. Hey, come back to us because that'd be fun.
Yes. Gix, Gix was the person that stabbed Glacian, and he and all his followers of rebels were infected with the Power Stone sickness, which the way they describe it comes across as cancer. It's very much so cancer.
So like a literal radiation almost then.
Yes, literal radiation poisoning. Like you get black lesions on your skin, like it becomes necrotic. You get lumps and stuff. It's really not nice.
Hey, some people in Innistrad live with that for life.
Well, And then a Planeswalker contacted him because she could sense his spark, Dyfed. And they were planeswalking around the multiverse trying to find a plane that Yawgmoth could basically be away from Dominaria, do whatever he wanted there. No one would bother him. And they stumbled upon Phyrexia, which we will get to when we discuss planes. And so he held back Gix and all the infected, and quote-unquote held back his making deals with them, until he could get a permanent portal to Phyrexia open. And when the permanent portal to Phyrexia was open, Yawgmoth got Dyfed to planeswalk him to the center of Phyrexia and bound himself to the core of the plane. So he infused the plane's essence within himself and himself within the plane. So they were one and the same, effectively.
Because this is kind of one thing I want to get into a little bit. Because like when we talked about the colours before and where they're coming from, like this is something that I until I was doing this research, it didn't quite click into place. Like I realised things cost mana to do, but you have to invest yourself in the land to even use mana in the first place. So yes. he kind of did this on an epic scale, like an entire plane scale.
I think he wanted to figure out how to activate his Planeswalker Spark when he saw what Dyfed could do. I'm fairly sure that he does. It's a latent activation. He doesn't realize that it does, and it just kind of happens. Or it does when he binds himself to the plane's core. It's not very clear in the book. The other nations eventually hear what's happening because of the exiles coming out of Halikan. And he promises all the infected people, all the people with the Power Stone sickness, that he can make them better, and takes them to Phyrexia. Basically makes them a horrible amalgamation of machine and flesh. They're demons. Demons in the magic sense. And Yawgmoth is pushing everyone through into Phyrexia that wants to go. And then he's like, oh look, all the sick people are gone. The other nations, so the Viashino, the Tauren, the Minotaurs, the Dwarves, the humans, the Elves, the Cat people, they all hear what's happening. Yeah, and they really don't want Yawgmoth getting away with this, so they invade Halikan. And that's where Yawgmoth reveals the Phyrexians, the amalgamations of machine and flesh, and they swarm and they do battle. He gets sealed in Phyrexia when Rebecca, who is Glacian's wife, sealed the portal to Phyrexia. And basically, Yawgmoth was unheard of for thousands of years. Like, his memory faded after they cleaned up the mess.
Okay.
And it wasn't until two brothers, Urza and Misha, no known last names, discovered the same Power Stone that Rebecca used to seal Phyrexia. And do you want any questions about Yawgmoth?
So he's a crazy mother in his own mechanical hell, like taking people there, trying to make them better. We can make you better, stronger. Spending $6 million on each person, and turning them kind of into funky metal demons and making his own metal hell. But like other than just adding a few things, the fact that he like stabbed Dyfed in the back of the head with a Power Stone knife.
Yeah.
When Rebecca and Dyfed were having no more of his, kind of realised he was a bit of a bastard.
Yeah.
And they just he's coming back and forth, like, oh, I'm sealed away, and oh, now I'm going to get you, and kind of like the whole Abaddon the Despoiler type thing is kind of the vibe I'm kind of understanding from what I've been reading. Mm-hmm. But he is the big scary Voldemort as well. You're saying he should not be named.
Yeah, Phyrexians they believe that if they speak his name, he'll take their Heartstone, which is a power stone that's implanted into the basically Vatborn clones that all Phyrexians are, and it gives them power, effectively. But it's they're indoctrinated to believe that that is their heart. If that is destroyed, they will die, and if they speak his name, he will appear and bodily rip it out of you.
Okay.
Kill you.
So, Brett, come on, I'm going to get you in there, because, mechanical hell with demons and waystones, technically these are almost Wraithguard. I know I'm hammering one thing into another every time, and I do apologise to everyone, but I like to do it. Mechanical hell sounds fun, doesn't it, Brett?
I absolutely love the idea. I only did a little bit of reading about Phyrexia, but just the one sentence mechanical hell, I was just like, I dig.
Totally, yeah. It definitely seems a fun place. So Sean, we're back and forth, and it's things going on, and then we have a final battle. Should we go into Urza before we get to there, or what?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So
Urza, one of. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to start and then hand over to you if that's cool with you, mate.
Yep.
So Urza, he is the blondie of the pair there. So he's archaeologist and chief artificer. Just a few points about the early points of his life that intrigued me. He married the daughter of married the leader of Yotia's daughter by using machinery to move a gigantic jade statue across this hallway, which I thought was just a wonderful thing. Yeah, you can marry my daughter. Just move this giant statue. Have fun. And he only did that to get the Thran tome that was in her dowry, and actually spent the entire wedding night reading it. So I thought that was kind of awesome. But through that marriage, he became effectively the leader of the Utaya people, and at the same time, Mishra's brother was doing that with the Falaj desert people, which kind of led to the Brothers' War. So I'll kind of hand over to you if you want to talk us through the Brothers' War.
Yeah, sure thing. Just a little bit of backstory about Urza and Misha. They were born on the same day, but a year apart.
Okay. Funky brothers.
The same day. Oh, wait, no, hang on. They were born on basically the 31st of December and the 1st of January. And so for one day they were exactly the same age, and it caused a lot of contention between them. Urza was the older brother. And while he was only older by, a manner of hours, he still, took it upon himself to look after his little brother even when it wasn't needed. They were shipped off to a camp to find artifacts, and it was at that camp they discovered a ornithopter, so a bird flying machine, basically. They rebuilt it, and they flew around and found all these, Nazca style markings on the floor on the desert, which weren't actually Nazca markings. They were the remnants of Halikan.
What are Nazca markings when they're at home?
The lines in South America. Pictograms.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't actually markings of any description. It was the remains of Halikan, the Thran capital city. And they did a bit of digging. They got knocked out of the sky by a rock. ROC, the giant bird, not a mineral deposit.
Or a space hawk.
Yeah.
Hammer.
Then they found a hallway leading down it, and at the end was a power stone on a pedestal, which is the same power stone that Rebecca sealed Phyrexia with. They were arguing over who should keep it. Urza arguing that he's the elder brother. Misha arguing that because he found it, he should keep it, and because of the date, they were both the same age. When they both grabbed it, something about emotions happened, I think, and it splits in two.
They had some feels.
And yes, one half, Urza's half, called the Might Stone, when directed at things, at machines specifically, could rebuild them, give them power and strength. But that also happened with living things. So if he pointed it at it and focused its power, he killed the rock that was circling overhead.
Okay. Good time for that.
Sorry, not kill. Sorry, he reanimated some machines in that hallway. Whereas Misha's stone, the weak stone, could like corrode things, machines, and then it could kill living things like the rock circling overhead.
So, like almost like a white and black kind of split between the stones.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
Just
although.
Sorry.
The colours were described as rainbow. They weren't described as individual, like red and green.
Just looking at that picture, then back to back, Urza's got maybe an inch or two. Like maybe he could. Maybe that's why he gets the Might Stone.
Yeah. So yeah. Years pass. They split. They go their separate ways. And it culminates in the Brothers' War after a few sneak attacks by the Thalagi Desert people on Yoshin patrols. Urza's like, alright, I've had enough of this, it's finally time to confront my brother. And they confront each other, and it's a huge, many-year-long battle that just decimates the land. Like, resources are destroyed just so the enemy cannot get them.
The magic history is it's a bit like the kind of biblical history with the Etch a Sketch end of the world. They do like their everything's destroyed now, try again.
And it culminates near Golgothia, where the person working under Urza and the second in command to Misha meet. They're kind of in love. It's hinted that they've had a few torrid affairs, and they meet and they they tell each other that this needs to stop, that they need to bring the brothers together, and just stop this. They meet, and it's been years since Urza's seen Mishra, sorry, and Mishra has now been fully converted by Phyrexia due to Gix, Yawgmoth's right-hand man, basically, whispering in his ear for the last 7 or 8 years since the brothers saw each other last. And it's at that point when Urza sees that there's no going back for him, he activates the Silex. And it creates an Ice Age. It's just such a huge unleashing of energy that it just flattens both armies completely.
So the Golgothian Silex, the most traumatic event in Dominaria history.
And because both stones were present at the time, the Might Stone and the Weak Stone, they can't be used against each other because the effects cancel each other out. That triggers Urza's Planeswalker Spark, but because Urza's basically looking into the Golgothian Silex, it burns his eyes out, so the Might Stone and Weak Stone become his eyes. He's got gemstones for eyes. And so he's sealed in the coffin for thousands of years, or hundreds of years, however long the Ice Age is. And he's trapped in there. It protected him and no one else. It didn't affect the entire plane. It affected basically the immediate area, but it put an end to the war. But the effects of that amount of energy being released covered all of Dominaria in snow, the Ice Age. After Urza gets out, he finds a person that looks a lot like Mishra to pose as his brother, and it's just to keep him sane, basically. He fights.
It's to keep him sane, but it also seems like it's kind of slightly conniving because, like, they just want him to control his guilt so he can work. Yeah, it's a mixed. I think it's a mixed blessing.
Yeah, and then he throughout and from when he gets out of the coffin to his death, well, Gix' death, effectively. He's just warring with the Gix constantly. He builds an academy that's got a bunch of time. He creates Khan at the academy to go back in time to stop a Phyrexian invasion. But what it does is creates a bunch of time rifts. It builds a bunch of time rifts, and the Phyrexian invasion just continues, unable to escape the time rifts. But they're, sped up.
The time rifts are a bit like the warp on there, because like there's time that is going fast and time that's going slow. There's kind of pockets of all sorts of crazy time going on. Is that kind of vibe? They want to use more time to actually use the time to build up their defenses effectively.
That's about it for that's the big thing about Urza. He did invade Phyrexia at one point with 8 other Titans, or 8 other Planeswalkers.
With the Titans being controlled by Planeswalkers, I think.
Yes, basically the Princeps of
yes, come on.
The other Planeswalkers that were with him: Commodore Gruff, Tavash Zat, Bolivar, Daria, Taysa, Freylise, Stina, Lord Windgrace. There are 2 of them that betray the others, and basically he sets off the nukes, like the built-in failsafes. He knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Set off the built-in failsafes, and then he goes insane.
More guilt.
Has to battle the person that would save Dominaria in the center of Phyrexia. So in the 9th sphere of Phyrexia. He does get beheaded as in the 9th sphere of Phyrexia.
That's Stephen Gerrard, yeah.
Yep, by Jared Capuchin. He does. His head does get taken out of the 9th sphere. Did
you say Nitosphere? Are we crossing over to all sorts of things
the
now?
the 9th sphere of Phyrexia. And basically, Urza's body is not needed because the life is all in the eyes. He does reveal his final thing when he finally dies, despite being decapitated. They have to use his eyes to activate a weapon. They fuse back together into one Power Stone and activates weapon, basically.
That's kind of
that's the end complete. Of Urza's story. Finally defeat Yawgmoth.
So it's kind of like it's the circle complete. It's the same Power Stones in the first place. Like it's the same Power Stones that Yawgmoth hides in Rebecca's husband. They're the same ones that are used to shut Phyrexia and keep them apart, which is the same one that Urza comes across, the same one Urza gets in his eyes, which Urza uses against Yawgmoth. Like, these stones are kind of important. Like, keep an eye on these stones. Don't hide those stones in your worst enemy. That's a tip. First of all.
It's not very clear about what happens to the stones after the legacy weapon is fired.
Okay. They could be out there.
So they might have been destroyed. We're not sure.
Okay, well, we are rolling at 48 minutes. We have we have gone a little bit longer than we thought it. I just want to throw through more a couple of things about Urza. Just in one of his rebuilding things, he decided that he needed to build the Salvation of Dominaria, which is obviously a giant airship. Like, what else is going to save the world? A giant airship that needs an entire world's mana to work. So we're going to destroy a world to save a world. I like your thinking, Urza. I like your thinking. You chaotic douchebag. Like, yeah, it's swings and roundabouts, I suppose. So yeah, that was the second episode of Lorekeepers. We've kind of brought you into Magic, talked a bit about the colours, what the Planeswalkers are, and some of the old school Planeswalkers. We are going to talk about the Thran and the current kind of main crop and known crop of Planeswalkers, but I think that might be something for us to do next month, and we can bring ourselves into the Planes and hopefully get ourselves up to Ravnica as well in that, although if we did the detail we did today, we may end up just being stuck on Planeswalkers, but we can discuss that. But yeah, so Brett, are you any closer? Are you any closer to Magic yet? Can we get you? I know Fox wants to get you a deck.
I've budged a little bit, but nothing, not an appreciable distance.
Okay, I want this to be a couple of months' time, and just you have no money and just a room full of cards, and just rocking back and forth, going, "I need more. I need another booster. Just one booster will be fine." Oh dear. Oh yes, Fox is threatening a big black deck of man meat. Apparently, that is deck.
Yeah. Lots of zombies and black decks. Yes. I mean, if you're into that, I'm not going to judge.
You're not a fan of the zombies, Sean. That's sad.
No? My blue deck's based around zombies.
Okay. Oh, good. Sorry, I thought you were beefing the zombies for a moment then.
No.
Yes, they always come in the cellar door. Anyway, right. So, thank you for joining us, those of you who join us, and thank you for watching this, anyone that watches it. We are Sean is our kind of MTG guy. We're kind of getting into the lore and things, and we were just delving and kind of showing you more as the weeks go on. Next week's Lorekeepers will be an intro to Warhammer Fantasy, I believe. Brett, do you want to have a little word about that? Because I believe that will be you and Fox, as I will be away.
Yeah, next week Fox and I are going to do an introduction to the world of Warhammer Fantasy. It's not going to be anything particularly complicated. It's pretty much going to be a history of the old world, primarily through the eyes of the Empire, because most things use the Empire's calendar. So yeah, that'll be next week.
Awesome scenes. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it, as I shall not be here, and then we should be back with an out of place RPG episode. Hopefully, if we can get that sorted with Corruption Point. So as ever, we do all these things for free. We do these things for fun because we love them, and we are trying. If you mispronounce things and stuff, we do apologise. But we're just trying to bring you information and some fun. Everything we do is free, as we said. There is the donation thing on the Dice Troop Tumblr page. Some people have already donated, and thank you very much for that. That's amazing. What day is it? It's Thursday. So yeah, next Thursday will be the next Lorekeepers. We will have the Hammer on Saturday and Table Talks on Monday. So yeah, hopefully see you people soon. And tally bye. Thank you very much for joining us as well, Sean, for the first time. It's exciting.
Oh, not a problem. I hope to be in many more.
Awesome scenes. Alright, well, we can catch you guys later. Tally bye.
Adios.